Welcome back to Hardball. Just hours ago, the Iranian President Ahmadinejad finished his controversial question and answer session at Columbia University. What did students there think about it? Should President Ahmadinejad have been allowed to speak there in the first place? Well, that's the Hardball debate tonight. Couldn't be more relevant. It happened today. We have two Columbia University students who were present at the speech today. William Nozal is a student and member of the College Republicans, and Sarah Leonard is also a student and a member of the College Democrats. God, you know, it's like old times. The College Democrats, the College Republicans. William, you first. Why should Ahmadinejad been denied or banned off the campus to begin with?
Well, I'm actually surprised Lee Bollinger didn't shake his hand at the end. President Bollinger should not have invited or even permitted Ahmadinejad to speak on our campus. It's a disgrace to our university's history, and unfortunately it contributes nothing to any academic debate or political debate, I would say, within reason.
Are there any other foreign leaders that he should ban? Want to give us a list of who they should be?
No, actually, our university has selective free speech. The College Republicans tried to bring Jim Gilchrist, the founder of the Minutemen Project, on campus, and the university would not allow that. So if you're an American citizen and you have a controversial point of view, they won't allow you to speak. But if you're not a foreign citizen and you're a world terrorist, they will allow you on campus.
God, you're good. Let's go to Sarah Leonard. That's a tough standard. Apparently your president of the university won't let the Minuteman guy come on because he's too far to the right, but they'll let Ahmadinejad come on, who hates us.
Well, the Columbia University College Democrats actually really welcomed Ahmadinejad's visit because we got to subject him to questioning that he will never face in Iran. And we thought this was a tremendous opportunity to really give students the opportunity to challenge him in free and open debate, which is, you know, we can exercise our First Amendment rights and we can question his horrible policies, his horrible stance on international issues. He's out of his safety zone now. In Iran, he will not be forced to answer those questions.
Weren't you surprised, William, that he did allow that there was a Holocaust today? Isn't that progress that wouldn't have occurred had there not been an event like today's?
I don't think there's anything that remotely resembles
answer that
progress.
question. Weren't you impressed that he admitted there was a Holocaust after these days and months of denial?
Somewhat, but I mean, I watched on 60 Minutes last night, like most of America, I'm sure, and he said pretty much the same thing as he said today on campus.
What'd he say?
He said he countered with his two questions about, for the first being, why can't we do more research into this field, meaning the Holocaust, whereas we continue to do research in the realms of physics and science, and he's said those questions, I think, I'm not exactly sure, but for months at least. It's nothing new from him.
There is something new. Anyway, let me go to Sarah. It seems to me that he did. I mean, I'm watching this thing. He said, I'm not denying there was a Holocaust. I heard him clearly say that.
Well, I think that's hardly an impressive statement. I mean...
From him?
Well, I mean, the world knows there was a Holocaust, and as Bollinger said, you know, he'd have to be incredibly uneducated or just trying to incite hate and anger by making statements like that. And, you know, he knew he was at a university where we're not going to buy that. And so, no, I'm not impressed that he acknowledged the Holocaust. But I think it's a very good example of when you get students up there asking him hard questions and holding him to account for the things he said, he can't hold to a lot of lines he's held before without looking foolish. And he knows that, and it was something of a surprise to hear that from him today.
Were you surprised, William, that he made the point that the United States supported Saddam Hussein when he used chemical weapons against the Iranian people? In fact, supported him in that whole war.
I wasn't that surprised myself. I mean, he spoke for 30 minutes uninterrupted and gave his whole narrative of the Iranian position.
But that is the truth.
It is the truth, of course, and I don't deny that, ever.
What do you think is the United States' history towards Iran? Do you think we've had a good record toward Iran over the years?
No, I don't think we have. I think the only hint of use that I see in him visiting our campus today would be at the end of his speech, where he did call for diplomatic relations to be increased between our two nations.
I would say that this event was a prime example of, you know, the way we need to improve relations with Iran, because instead of just, instead of isolating Iran, instead of refusing to engage in dialogue that can make progress, we at Columbia were trying to ask him questions, hold him accountable, and engage in a dialogue. And when there is no dialogue, violence very quickly becomes the answer. And I think that this government's current policy, where there's a lot of isolation and a lot of ignoring of the issues instead of discussing them, I think that's very dangerous. And I think Columbia is setting an example by engaging in controversial free debate where we can raise these questions and talk about them and hold him accountable.
Well, William Nozel and Sarah Leonard, I'm impressed by both of you. I must say I was not impressed by your president today. I thought he was a very lousy host who was afraid to engage in a dialogue. He had to dump on the guy before he could speak, and everybody knew where they stood. Unfortunately, he tried to shut down the conversation before it began. Thank you very much, William Nozel of the College Republicans and Sarah Leonard of the College Democrats.